All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is for the Accounting 2 class. This will be after you take your accounting assignments. Here's some of the things that you're going to do in the Accounting 2 class. Like figure out how much a cup of coffee is, but how much profit you can make on each cup of coffee and when you can make your money back. So you'll notice up here what I've done is research different things like how much some coffee is going to cost, how many cups you can make, and it looks like a coffee, just regular coffee, is about 33 cents a cup. When you add the cups and the straws, now you're talking about 80 cents. If you want to do the lattes, which we're going to use the number for in the next part, it's $1.59. Some of the costs to open a shop, whether you buy a small building or rent, you've got merchandise, plumbing, electrical, and equipment. And then salaries for a manager, some full-time employees, part-time, and other expenses. So down here where it says $913,730, that's the number that we're looking at before we'll make a profit. So we're going to spend that much money on all of our shops. On the next slide, or the next tab right here where it says coffee shop, I've added 3 coffee companies, and we're going to use their amounts and their pricing to do the rest of this next part. So the first part is we're going to do the simple cup of coffee, then we're going to do a latte, and finally a blended drink. So what I'm going to do is, you'll notice I've got over here, as I'm dragging it over, give me a second. Here are the Maple Moose prices for coffee. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller so we can see both. And I'm going to look at it. So Americano is usually what the coffee name is. I'm going to bring up the expenses. $1.59. So what I'm going to do is, where it's yellow, I'm going to put in $1.59 for the price of the coffee. So I'm going to Control C and paste the price of the coffee all the way down like this. And I'm going to go up to Maple Moose, and it says for a 20-ounce Americano, it's going to cost about $2.75. So we're going to use the 20-ounce for all of these. So I'm going to put in 2.75. And then I'm going to do a formula right here to figure out what our profit for price of a cup of coffee is. So I'm going to go equals 275 minus $1.59. And so we make $1.16 for every cup of coffee we sell. Just regular Americano coffee. Now, how many cups of coffee will we have to make a profit? That's a mathematical equation as well. We're going to collect equals here. We are going to put in the cost of the business, which is B6 at $913,000. And we are going to hit the division symbol. And we're going to divide it by the price per coffee cup. So in this one, what's going to happen is we are going to have to sell looks like 788,000 cups of coffee before we make a profit. But let's look at lattes. If we sell lattes, so we have a latte and a 20 ounce is $4.50. So then we go 4.5. Then we do that problem again. We do the equals the total cost, what they pay for the cup of a latte, minus how much it costs us to make a latte. And the profit is $2.91. So then we do that same formula, equals that, divided by the cup of coffee. Now we only have to sell about 313 or 314,000 cups of coffee to make a profit. So that is awesome. Finally, the blended drinks. And so we look down there and we see Jet Smoothies, we see Sparks, we see Cremosa Steamers and all of that. We'll just go ahead down to, we'll use their Jet Smoothie as one. And so we'll go $4.75. So we're going to go $4.75 for that. We're going to do the same formula, equals that minus the cup of coffee. Then we'll go equal the amount divided by the profit. And now we only have to sell 290,000, approximately 290,000 cups of coffee. So that is why when you're in a business like a coffee company, you try to sell the lattes and the blended drinks because you don't make very much money off the cup of coffee. And that's what we're going to do there. And so that's the assignment that you're going to do if you want to. Have a good day.